Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the I Will Aim podcast. Our topic for today, from invisible to in demand, the Authority Playbook most expert miss. There are incredibly talented people everywhere doing great work, delivering real value, and still they're invisible, not promoted, not recognized, not in demand. Today, we're going to unpack why being good is no longer enough and what it really takes to become unforgettable in your field. If you've ever felt overlooked, underrecognized, or unsure about how to stand out, this conversation might change everything. With my special guest, Christine Blosdale. Welcome, Christine. How are you doing
Ah,
today?
thank you so much, Will. It's great to be with you.
And I want to highlight
Mm.
it's early in the morning, Australia. Good morning to you. Thank you for really joining me. I
I
think it's
have
must
coffee,
be like,
so I'm okay. Yes,
thank
thank
you.
you.
How about we kick it off with a quick introduction from you?
Yes, so I am the expert authority coach, and I help overwhelmed entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, coaches, you name it. I help them get seen, get trusted, and get paid for what they already know. And my job is to basically take a look at what you've been doing and analyze if it's working, if it's connecting with your target audience, and if you're showing up as that expert authority that we know you all are.
Well, thank you, Christine. That's a very exciting intro. So let's dive into the discussion. There are a lot of people who work really hard, they're talented, and oftentimes they feel invisible. Like,
Yeah.
what's the real reason why people feel that way, and why are they misunderstood?
Mm. Well, many times we tend to, as human beings, compare ourselves to other people, and I call it that Instagram syndrome, where we where we look at other people and their social media, and we say, "Oh my goodness, they're so successful. I could never amount to that, or I could never be that." Or we do something else and we try and imitate that. Right? We think that if we show up the way they are, or we speak the way they do, that we will become noticeable. And what I try and do with every one of my clients is to say that there is a confidence that we need to embody, and it's an energy, and that energy, that vibe, if you want to call it, will attract the right people. But we need to remember that we're actually emitting a vibe. We're emitting an energy. It's kind of, I call it the bat signal. And so subconsciously,
Yes.
consciously, we might be going, yes, I want to have a successful business and I want to help people. But then subconsciously, we might be sending out signals that are maybe a little bit of desperation or a little bit of scarcity mindset. And so it's really, really important to be conscious of what energy we're putting out. And that's everything from the photos that you use for your profiles, for your business. I always recommend, please, please, please get a professional headshot, a professional photo of yourself, not a selfie, not something that you did like 20 years ago, but something that's current and that reflects your personality. Because my personality is such that I love helping people and I'm very joyous. And when I work with clients, we have a lot of fun, right? So my image that I use, and you're very familiar with it because it's plastered all over my website and my social media, is an image of myself where you can't even see my eyes, but it's my expression on my face is so joyous. It's like I'm laughing or I'm excited, and I have headphones on and I have a microphone, and that really tells people a lot. And that one photo has gotten me through so many doors and so many interviews and so many stages, and it's because it's reflective of my personality.
I think what I love about that photo when I saw it is the smile and the energy. Those are the first
Yes.
two things that comes to mind when and more importantly, as you mentioned, confidence.
Yes.
That person in that photo had confidence compared to
Yes.
other people. It's interesting when you said that people often compare them to other people and they try to emulate. And how do you help your client get over the in many ways it's lack of confidence, right? And you mentioned vibing. How do you what's the process looks like when you work with a client?
The very first thing, and this is the most critical thing, and I have a lot of different ways for people to find out about their expert authority. I have a quiz. I have some programs that they can always learn from, but I really have to have that sit down consultation with them, that first chat, and it's about 30 minutes. And in that conversation, I'm able to unpeel a lot and to find out a lot about your personality and what it is that you've been doing, but more importantly, what you want to do. And if there is a connection there with the website that you have, your digital footprint, your website, your
Yes.
social media, all those things. But that conversation that we have, I will immediately know if you have what we call imposter syndrome. And we all experience imposter syndrome from
Yeah,
time to
yeah.
time. Okay. We all do. So if you do suffer from that, don't freak out. We all do. In many moments of my life, I've had imposter syndrome. And what I want to tell you is that when you work through those feelings and you do go through that gauntlet of feeling uncomfortable and, oh my gosh, what are people going to say? What will people think? What if I mess up? Right? All of those fears that pop up when we encounter that. I'm here to tell you that many times on the other side of that is something really great. And it might be even something that pushes you into a completely different arena that you could never have dreamed of. And so I want to encourage you to work through those things. And I have a few different ways that I work with people on how to overcome that. But don't worry, we all encounter it, and especially overachievers. So those overachievers are the ones that want to make sure they get 100% on their tests. They have credentials and they've studied, and they want to be as perfect as possible. And here's the thing: no one is perfect, and we're in a stage right now with humanity where people are craving authenticity. We see lies everywhere. We see when somebody starts talking, we're like, they're lying, or we see something on the news, we go, that's not true. Our bullshit detector is very, very good right now. And so we want to be authentic. We want to be relatable. And that is something that is really important to remember as you're going through that imposter syndrome.
I love the fact that you mentioned relatable and authenticity because many times, even I'm part of Toastmasters for many years. They
I
kind
love
of
Toastmasters.
they sort of talk about being good at it. In many ways, it's
Mhm.
similar to perfection. When
Mhm.
you're doing, I've been doing competition for 1 year. I did so many competition, but it felt like perfection versus being who you are, and it's okay to make a couple of mistakes. And I love the fact that you mentioned that being relatable and being authentic, because at the end of the day, that's what you want to be known for.
Yes. Well, and authenticity will attract the right people. You know, I've done workshops and webinars. I've done hundreds of them, if not thousands of them. And I'll have I did one where I did this great presentation, and there were some people, a lot of people were there live with me, but then there were some people who registered who weren't able to be there, but they were expecting a recording. And I got done with this incredible presentation, and I felt, and everybody there was so hyped up on it, and I realized I forgot to hit record. And I said to them, now I could have just said, okay, everybody, well, thank you very much and goodbye. And, and then like tried to figure out what am I going to say. But I said it right there to the group. I said, you know what? I forgot to hit record. And I said, this makes me reminds myself that every single time I do a workshop or a webinar, I am going to put a little post-it note and I'm going to say, make sure you hit record. Right. And they loved that. They were like, oh my gosh, you too? I've done that too. So the thing is that when we do stumble in life, owning up to it and saying, you know what, I did a mistake. That makes you so human, and that brings so many people to you. It really does.
I love the fact that you shared that story too, because that is the connection you have with the audience that you have at that moment. you
Yes.
you your presence, being in the moment and being vulnerable, being able to share that, because not many people would. I've met many people that made a mistake and they'll just be quiet. Hopefully no
Yes.
one noticed, nothing
Nobody
happened.
saw it.
But
Yes.
it's great for someone to actually be confident to do that. So that's actually show confidence too. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, also, I
My
want
next
to.
question, yeah,
I
go ahead.
want to go. Yeah, because being honest and vulnerable as well is is a quality. It shows also that you have empathy. And
Yes.
so I'll tell a story from time to time about how I encountered imposter syndrome and how going through it and going through that gauntlet and feeling uncomfortable on the other side of it was a whole career that blossomed in front of me. And that was the time where I was a producer at a radio station. I was behind the scenes. I was writing. I was doing all the work behind the scenes, getting guests ready, getting the questions ready for the host. And one day they asked me to go on live because the host was sick or they broke their leg. I can't remember what happened, but they were like, "You need to go on air and do the show." And I was like, "Oh no, 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 no! What? I've never done that before. I've never done it before. What are people gonna think? What if I mess up? What are they gonna say? They're gonna hate me. They don't know me. They're expecting this other person." And they said, "Well, I'm sorry, but there's nobody else to do it. You have to do it." And so I begrudgingly went into the studio and put the headphones on and pulled the mic next to my face. And it was a dark studio and I was scared to death. I was so scared. But as soon as that on air light went on, Will, something magical happened. I
The
don't
star
know.
came out.
It's something magical happened. I knew exactly what to say. I could feel the audience. And this is a big radio station in Los Angeles. So there's a lot of people listening. And it was like 5 o'clock at night, which is drive time. And I could feel them and I knew exactly what to say. And that began my 20-year career at a radio station in Los Angeles with doing programs and on air fun drives and all of that. And so on the other side of that fear was something really magical. And that's why I tell that story. Because yes, I also had that imposter syndrome.
Well, thank you for sharing that powerful story. It's as you were telling, and you as the thing went live, it's like the star came out. I
Yes.
was imagining the star just came out and started shining. That's
Yes.
a powerful story. I love that. I'll create a short clip on that one. That was just it's like golden nuggets. A lot of people who actually would that are listening to us, they're probably wondering what's going on with them. How come they're so good and they have so many credentials, as you mentioned before, but they can't be seen as authority? What is that gap between just being good, being certified, and know what you're talking about versus being viewed as authority?
Well, the big component of that is that confidence, right? And I'll tell you, confidence is not egotistical, and it's not being arrogant. If you ask me, because my title is expert authority coach, and I'm really a specialized business coach. If you boil it all down, now, are there other business coaches out there? Oh my goodness, there's millions of us out there, and people that specialize in helping you on your social media, others on your website. Some are confidence coaches, and all of those things, right? So there are many people that do things similar to myself, but there's no one that has the same experiences that I have. I grew up in Los Angeles, a very multicultural,
Mm.
international city. So I'm used to all kinds of people from all over the world. I also had the 20 years in broadcast journalism. So I've seen people pitch to me them to get on the radio, and they've sent me media kits and pitch emails and all of that. And I know after 20 years what makes someone interesting to hear their story rather than someone who just says, "I want to be on your show." Okay. So that's 20 years of that experience. But also when it comes to sales, when it comes to knowing what people need and want, I've learned it's the pillar of three. It's health, wealth, and love. If you can focus on those
Mm.
three things, And health,
Help.
we all
Well,
know what health is, but look at the fitness industry, look at the supplement industry, right? Huge. Wealth is not just about money. Wealth is about time, being able to have time to be with your loved ones. And love is not just a romantic love. Love is love of our community, love of humanity, love for the people that you work with, your clients. So of all the years that I've worked, and I'm 61 now, but that's all of the things that I've learned that has made me who I am today. So I'm very different than other business coaches based on that experience. So that's what I try and do when I work with my clients. I say, let's find out why you're so unique. And a lot of times they think they're like, oh, you mean that time that I spent doing this, that, or the other, and oh, that was just nothing. That was I'm like, no, that's really important to your story and to your messaging. So we bring our life experiences to what we do.
I think that's so powerful. The way you explain your experience come through the work that you're doing, and that's how you make other better. That's so impressive. One of the challenges that I've been noticing in the industry is because of social media is people who wants to build their brand tend to focus on posting. You need to post 3 times a week. You gotta post. You gotta engage your audience. What is the real thing that separate people who's trying versus people who are there?
Oh, okay. So yes, the post mania.
Yeah,
I
post
I
media.
will I will take with my I have an accelerator program. It's basically we I work with clients for 90 days. Okay, so it's 12 weeks, let's say. And in those 12 weeks, we actually strip down all the stuff that's not needed anymore. And they'll always say, they go, okay, so let's talk about my social media. When should I post today? Should I talk about this particular work that we're doing? They're so frantic about that. And I say, before we bring people into our home, let's make sure the foundation is there. And
Mm,
they'll kind of like, like a puppy dog, when you say you want to go for a walk, they'll turn their head, they go, "Oh." The often we are posting and doing things on social media before the foundation of our business is even laid down. So you don't want to invite somebody into your house if your floor is going to fall through, right? And that means your business is really clear. And the goal, whatever the goal is, because we need to have a strategy with social media. So before we start posting a bunch of stuff, we need to make sure that our business, our website is reflective of what we offer, that our offers are very clear. Clarity is queen, is clarity is king in this
mm.
business. So we need to be very clear on our offers and clear on our mission and what we do. Sometimes I'll go to people's websites and I'll go, I don't know what it is that you do or who you do it for, right? So we want to make sure that those things are set up first. Once we get those set up and the foundation of your business is crystal clear, your website is crystal clear, then we can start concentrating on the social media. And we don't need to go everywhere all at once and put all of our efforts. I do utilize all the different social platforms, but I focus on where my clients are. So my clients are primarily on LinkedIn. They're professionals. They're people like you. They're professionals. They're speakers. They're authors. They're very very talented, but maybe they just aren't. They're not hitting the mark. They feel that their business is not what it should be. Right. So I'd like to work with those people. So I focus a lot of attention on LinkedIn. But you know what? I'm a huge fan of TikTok. I am a freak about TikTok. I love it. So I post on TikTok, but I don't post the same things on TikTok that I do on LinkedIn. So,
It,
but
it's it's
we need to make sure the foundation's done first. Yeah.
I love the fact you talk about the foundation because and posting is something that you do later on, right? Once you establish your foundation.
Yes.
You mentioned the 90-day authority accelerator.
Yes.
What type of transformation have you observed from your client that you could share without sharing all the secret
Yeah.
sauce?
Yes. So I have so many beautiful clients that I'm taking through this right now. I'll give you an example of maybe a few. I have a client who's in Dubai, and she is a fitness. a coach, a wellness and fitness coach, and her target audience are women in their late 40s, 50s, and 60s, right? The
Mm.
menopause, perimenopause, and basically encouraging them to do exercise to stay healthy well into their 80s. And so uh her website was pretty good. Her branding was pretty good. The problem was there was no way to bring people into her world. In other words, she didn't really have an offer or a lead magnet. She had some live classes that she would do on like a Zoom type thing, but she didn't realize that not only can she do these live classes and make X amount of dollars per person per class, but she has an empire that she's sitting on, right? She has
Mm.
the ability to create supplements, to create products. She's got a best-selling book sitting right with, she's
Wow.
sitting on top of a few best-selling books. She's got these amazing recipes and guidance on food and nutrition in addition to the exercise. So with her, we were like in the middle point of that 90 days, and the transformation is huge with her. We went through the website, we rebranded it, actually named her business after her. Before it was something to do with something fitness, and I was like, no, 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 let's use your name because we want to make you the star. You are the expert. And in that, we're going to use your name because it's unique and we're going to build around that. And so now we're changing her website. It's looking so much better. We've created a lead magnet for her so she can have an offer for people, and working on her videos. She's a little shy too, which is very interesting. So the next step is doing the social media. It's doing more of those videos, but that's just somebody who's in the process. And then I have another client who's an Australian amazing gentleman who specializes in antiquarian fishing books. Now, this was initially, I thought, hmm, this is going to be interesting. And I took a look at his website. It was quite antiquated itself. And the problem was it was all about the books and it wasn't about him. And I said the interesting part about this, and now he's a big guy with a big long beard, and he's so Aussie. I said, "You're the star, and yes, you have these amazing books, and you are an expert in these books, telling people what's of high value, why it's of high value. Plus, he's got thousands of books for sale." So
Wow.
I said, "We're going to focus on you a little bit, but you're going to tell the stories. You're not just going to put a picture up and say buy this $500 old unique book. You're going to tell the stories behind it." So I got him starting to actually record videos, and
Wow.
then I showed him how to edit those videos. And at first he was stiff. He was reading, "Hello, I am blah 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 blah." He was reading, and I said, "No, throw away that script. Come on, tell me from your heart. Why do you like this book?" And so he got to come out of his shell, and now he's so amazing. He's got videos now. He's on LinkedIn. I made him create a TikTok account and he's going to be posting his videos on TikTok as well. And he's been through my 90. He's just completed the 90 days with me.
Wow. I love both story. I think the transformation that they're going through, from the start and the end, they become that person that people look at as authority versus someone who's just
Yes.
playing in the same field, right? I think that
And the
that's
important
really
thing
amazing.
and the important thing too is that there's results. With him, I went through because he had a very old, antiquated way of sending out emails and email blasts, and we went through how to create a beautiful email using Canva and Mailchimp. And I said we're going to also include some gorgeous graphics and work on your branding. And he said when he sent out his email blast that we've been working on, he got six sales. He got six sales.
Wow.
He goes, That's never happened before." And I said, "It's because now you're looking more professional, right?
There you
People
go.
trust
You're
you."
now the authority. You're now the
Yes,
authority.
yes, yes.
For my listener out there who wants to engage you, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
The fastest way is to go to my website, which is expertauthoritycoach.com. And there's buttons all over there where you can actually book a consultation with me. It's absolutely free and there's no pressure. I just need to know what you do, how you do it. And it's 30 minutes, and we sit down and you tell me what you've been doing, but more importantly, really what you want to do. And then I can tell you how the easiest way to get there. Some people come to me and they really do need that 90 days with me because it's such a huge transformation that they can have. And then there's other times where they may just even need one or two sessions with me just to spruce up, their zhuzh up their website or their branding, right? So,
Yeah.
so sometimes it might be just a single session that I can help people with, but they just go to the website expertauthoritycoach.com. They can book that call.
And then when I publish this particular episode, there's an assessment link that Christine will share. And I
Yes,
want to make sure you take that assessment and get in touch with Christine. Christine,
yes.
thank you very much for your time. I really
Thank you,
appreciate you being
Will.
a guest on my podcast. You drop a lot of golden nuggets, and I'm sure our audience will really love it. Thank you again for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I've been looking forward to this, and I was not disappointed. You're fantastic, Will. Thank you.
Thank you.